Okay, good evening and thanks for joining us. My name is Matt Biles. I'm the principal here at the West Middle School. So if you found your way to this Zoom meeting, that means you've got an incoming 6th, 7th, or 8th grade student. If you have a current 8th grade student, I do apologize, but this is the wrong meeting for you guys. That means if you're current 8th grade now, they will be promoted to 9th grade next year. So you'll have to wait for the high school to send out more information for those students. Before I get any further, I'd like to go ahead and introduce the other two ladies that are here on the Zoom meeting with me, my other two administrators here at the middle school. So we have Miss Jana Praka. She is our West Middle School assistant principal. And then we have Miss Claudia McLaughlin. She is the West Middle School counselor. Real quick, just want to run through the plan or the agenda for tonight's meeting. So Miss McLaughlin, as I stated, is our counselor. She will be going through all of our course selection sheets for all grade levels, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. She's actually the one that goes into the classrooms and meets with the students, walks them through the process of the courses and what we offer. And once those go home to the parents and get signed off on, we receive those back. And then Miss McLaughlin goes back into the classroom, meets with those kids again, and we'll get them to input that into Skyward. Which will then get us an idea of what our numbers look like for courses and helps us kind of start working with our master schedule. So once Ms. McLaughlin goes through all of that, Ms. Praka will then cover some of the material or requirements for our advanced courses. You will see on some of the course selection sheets that we do offer advanced math classes. So she'll go over the requirements for that, how to get in, how to stay in those advanced courses. And then we'll kind of open things up for a question and answer session. So if you have any questions that come up while we're talking, while Ms. McLaughlin's going through the course selection sheets, please just jot those down. You can ask them at the end. You can also add those into our meeting chat room, or you can even write them on the course selection sheets before your child turns it back in, and we can kind of answer those as those come in. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and let Ms. McLaughlin get started on the course selection sheets, and we will get those pulled up on the screen for you to kind of follow along.
Hi, I'm Claudia McLaughlin, as Mr. Biles just stated. I am the school counselor for 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. We're going to begin with the 6th grade course selection sheet. It is up on the screen if you are on the computer or even your phone, and you can see it. It is yellow, and there's not a whole lot to choose from. This is really simplistic, but I do want to explain kind of what our block scheduling looks like. So this would be for incoming 6th graders. We do have a blocked schedule. What that means is English language arts is 2 periods in a schedule, and math as well. It's blocked. So that means it's 2 periods in a schedule. They're in there roughly close to 2 hours for both those courses. Science is a single class. Social studies is a single class, and physical education is a single class. So those are the 5 core that every 6th grade student, incoming 6th grade student takes. And then there is a fine arts elective that each 6th grader can take, and their choice is between band and choir. Normally at this time, in terms of mid-April, the band directors or our choral director meets with the kids at the elementary school. Not sure that that has been done yet. I have talked to Christy Bryant, who is our elementary counselor, and she said that I think they were working on a date when the directors would go and visit with the kiddos. And what they do is they test them in terms of different instruments to see kind of what their interest is and what they would be good at. And then the kids would pick which one they would want to be in, either band or choir. And so Usually there's a two-part system for course selection, not for incoming sixth grade. I visit with the kids. I'm actually scheduled to go next Thursday and meet with all incoming sixth graders. And we're going to meet in two different groups and talk about this course selection that you see in front of you, as well as any questions they may have. I have an Animoto video that I show them about middle school life. I also take some of our current sixth graders with me, and they talk about what middle school is like, and they answer any questions the kiddos may have. And so the kids next Thursday, when I visit with them, they will be receiving this course selection yellow sheet that you see in front of you. They are to take those home and review them with you parents, and we need a parent signature and a phone number, and they will be returning those to Miss Bryant at the elementary. And Christy and I get together and we review those. She gives them to me and I actually input these into the computer. The kids don't do that yet. That happens when they're in 7th and 8th grade. So we're waiting on questions. Are we moving on to the next grade level, Mr. Biles?
Let's just go ahead and move on through all course selection sheets, and then we'll save all questions there towards the end.
Okay. 7th grade, if you can see the screen, it is a purple sheet. Those of you that have incoming 7th graders, you might have already seen this sheet. It went home actually on March the 30th. I went into Coach Smith's class. No, I apologize. That was Coach Atkinson's class. And we reviewed these. And so you might have already seen these. It does look, actually, it looks a little bit different. So I'll explain the difference on here, but don't panic, it's fine. We did have to make some corrections to it, but we'll work with what we have in terms of what the kids return. So you have the 4 core. The English language arts is a blocked class. 6th graders are already used to that. So we'll continue with the block scheduling for English language arts. They also have a math blocked, and there's also advanced. I don't know if did I talk about math advanced? I don't think I did that with 6th grade, but we do have an advanced math course as well, and that's also blocked. Then we have a single science and a single social studies class. The biggest difference in 7th grade from 6th grade is they get to pick what kind of physical education course they want to take. So they get to decide between regular physical education and athletics. And of course, athletics is a more rigorous course. If your child is planning on playing any of the team sports, volleyball, basketball, track, cross country, football, the coaches are going to want them in there. It's extra time in there. They do a lot of conditioning, weight training, and skills building for that particular sport that they're in. Physical education is not as rigorous, but it is required as a 7th grader. They do a lot of team sports in there, play a lot of games. So it is not as rigorous. So that is one of the biggest differences from 6th grade to 7th grade. And then the fine arts, again, 7th grade gets to pick a fine art, and it is between band and choir. A lot of kids have already chosen what they want. If you're a parent that has an incoming 7th grader that they've seen this purple sheet already, the biggest difference is we did have a yearbook and a team leadership at the very bottom of the sheet. And that was because at that time we had a meeting in terms of course selection of whether math was going to be blocked or not. And if math is not blocked, then we would have had an extra space in 7th grade schedules. So that means if a student was in advanced math, they would have an extra slot in their schedule and they would be able to take an extra elective. But we have had more meetings since then. And admin has decided that we want to continue with blocking that math course, advanced or regular. So that means that we won't have those two other options, which was the yearbook and the team leadership for 7th grade. So of course, parent signature, phone number, and just keep in mind with these electives, and I'll reiterate that again when I talk about 8th grade is, biggest difference from 6th to 7th grade is that athletic piece. We do get a lot of kids wanting in and out of that because that's so new, and the kids are so excited about being in athletics. And sometimes after that first week, the honeymoon is over and they want out because it is a difficult, rigorous course. But we do ask that the kids commit to a year in any of those electives, whether it's athletics, PE, band, or choir, because scheduling can be kind of rigid, and especially with block scheduling. It can completely butcher up their entire schedule. Once schedules are fixed and they're in a certain course, it's really, really hard to change and change up their schedule. And we can answer any of those kind of questions if you have scheduling questions in terms of changing that at the end. Okay, 8th grade schedule or course selection is in front of you. If you're seeing the screen, it is red. These are a lot more selections, obviously, so they get to rank them. Biggest difference coming into 8th grade from 7th grade is you won't see a whole lot of blocked scheduling in 8th grade. The English language arts is a single class. Science is single, social studies is single. Math may be blocked depending on how the student is doing and what kind of interventions and what kind of help they may need. It's very possible that an 8th grade student could have a math block. There's also a 5th core class, which is the teen leadership, health, tech apps course. And we incorporated that this past year and it's worked out beautifully. So it is our 5th core, and every single 8th grader is in that particular course. So we consider that to be the 5th core. Now we get into the electives. Again, they get to pick what kind of physical education course they want to take. That is a requirement. So they can either be in athletics or in physical education. And yes, we see a lot of changes coming from 7th to 8th grade. We ask the kids to commit to a year, and sometimes 7th graders commit to that whole year of athletics, and then they decide they don't want to do it anymore and they pick PE for 8th grade, and that's perfectly fine. So they do get to pick athletics or PE. Same thing with PE. If they were in PE all 7th grade year and 6th grade year, and then they decide they want to be in athletics in 8th grade, fantastic. We just ask for a 1-year commitment with that, and that's due to scheduling. Can you scroll up just a little bit, Ms. Prodka, or scroll down, my bad. And so here's where we get into 8th grade ranking electives. And we want them to rank 1 through 6. When I talk to the kids, I say, assume that you're going to get 1 and 2. So make sure that you rank them accordingly, being 1 is your top choice and 2 is your second choice. And just assume again that you're going to get 1 or 2. I like keeping these hard copies because kids forget, adults forget. But I'll always get kids come in and say, Miss McLaughlin, I really wanted art, but you gave me choir. And then I'll look at the sheet and they picked art last. You know, they ranked it 6th. And I'm like, well, that's why you didn't get art, because you picked it last. So I always tell the students, assume that you're going to get 1 and 2. So make sure that you rank them accordingly. So there's band, choir, art, which art is located on the high school side. That's where the art room is at. The theater is, we have a fantastic theater program. 1-act play is through theater. There is an application process for that. So when your students, and you see the course selection sheet, there is, it says you'll be notified if you qualify. So there is an application process for that in order for them to be admitted into the theater course. Yearbook, same thing. They do all the layouts, the pictures, the write-ups for the yearbook. It is a lot of work. It's a great class. That there's also an application process for that as well. And next year, we're actually looking at adding agriculture science, which is kind of the same pathway as our ag program at the high school. And so that's new. We've been trying to add that for several years. And that, again, that's based on whether we have staffing for it and whether it will make. And that there is also an application process for that as well. So if any of the kids rank theater, yearbook, or ag science 1 or 2, they will be getting an application. And right now we're looking at Google Forms as opposed to an actual hard copy. So that's kind of what we're looking at this time. Of course, they would take this home. We need parent signature and your parent's phone number. So in case we have any questions, I make phone calls over the summertime. You know, if I didn't understand what they put, I didn't understand what they ranked, or maybe this particular class didn't make, or I need to put them in a different class because they're getting a double block in math, etc. I'll definitely give you a call and we will discuss it from there. I am done with my piece, Mr. Biles.
All right, sounds good. So as you heard, Ms. McLaughlin spoke on the math advanced courses. So we're going to turn it over to Ms. Praka to talk about the requirements for our advanced courses and how to get in there and how to stay in there.
All right, hello everyone. For some reason, our Zoom says it's going to end in 5 minutes, so I'm going to hurry up and get through this. It may just be our recording, but for advanced math for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, I'm sharing with you on my screen now what is taught in those courses. So in advanced math 6th grade, it's all of the 6th grade TEKS plus half of the 7th grade. And then in advanced math 7th grade, we do the other half of the 7th grade TEKS and then all of the 8th grade TEKS. The difference here is that in 7th grade advanced math, they do take the 8th grade STAR math test. And then for 8th grade advanced math, it's actually Algebra 1 that they will get a credit at high school for, and then take the Algebra 1 EOC. There are requirements for them to be included in this class, and those are listed here. My newsletter that I send out each week, I will actually add all of these documents that you saw today on the Zoom so that you can look over these. For the initial placement, they do have to score masters on their math STAR. And they have to meet 2 of the following 3 criteria that you can see there. Have a final class average of 85 or above. Their end of the year iReady diagnostic that they take at the end of 5th, 6th, and 7th grade needs to be above grade level. And some of their interim scores, we look at those 2 of having a meets or masters prediction of 50% or more. To stay in the advanced math criteria, they must score masters or meets on their test that year. And we do monitor that after the first 3 weeks of school. We do go through, or I've went through and look at the kids' grades, and if they're not making it or they seem like they're struggling in it, then we do look through those, and then we would call a parent teacher conference with you and myself, and we would meet about that and decide that, you know, if they need to stay in it, if the teacher feels like that they would be able to make it after the next 3 weeks, maybe it was just, you know, a bad 3 weeks, then we talk about it and decide before, you know, we kick anybody out, but we will meet with you. So, but again, I will post this information in our newsletter this week, and I'll send it to the 5th grade teachers so you guys can have it as well. Back to you, Mr. Biles.
All right, so again, I'm not sure what's going on, but it's telling us we have about 3 minutes remaining on our Zoom time. So if we're going to continue to go, if it cuts us off, like I said, we've already got most of the information out that we wanted to get out today. The other things I wanted to kind of cover was just various clubs that we do offer. So for our incoming 6th graders, which means our 5th grade students, we do have other various clubs that we offer outside of just the athletic piece. We still have UIL, all the academic pieces of UIL, our National Junior Honor Society. We have of course, our student council, Builders Club, which once they go to high school, that turns into the Key Club. We have our UIL One Act Play. We also have, obviously, cheerleading is an option. We have Destination Imagination. We also still have students that are already participating in the 4-H and showing animals through 4-H or FFA. So we still have quite a few of those kids doing those things. And I did want to reiterate one more time, and I know Ms. McLaughlin has already spoken on this, but it is extremely important that when your child decides to take that elective, that it is a 1-year commitment. The athletic portion and the band portion, those are the ones that kind of cause a problem for us with scheduling. Once they get into that as a 7th grader or 8th grader, it turns into a process to try to redo their schedules. It creates a mess for not just the students, but for the teachers as well. And it starts overpopulating some of our courses that we already have set up. So please just remind the kiddos that if they're choosing these things, that it is a full year commitment, that we can't just jump in and out at will. That's pretty much all I had to cover, all we had to cover for the night. So if there are any questions, we're going to open it up for maybe a couple of minutes. Right now, our time says 1 minute left, but we'll open it up. And if we get cut off, please feel free to email us, call us. Again, even write the questions on those course selection sheets when you sign them and give them back to your child to bring them back up to the school. You can write the questions on there, but you can reach out to us for any one of those various ways.